Camping season is around the corner. Scouting, most of you are doing it already. And hunting, well, hunting is fast approaching. I'm mentioning these three activities because scouting, hunting, and camping, they all need different gears. And when you start looking at how much gear you will need to be comfortable, and keyword here, comfortable. I'm sure that a lot of folks can say, well, I'm just going to use this for the entire thing, whether it's scouting, whether it's hunting, whether it's camping, and I'll be just fine. I agree with you. A lot of people do it. But if you want to be really comfortable, if you want to enjoy the time, because you want to enjoy a good night's sleep, well, you need different gear for these three activities. Now, the first things that we do here, us, is scouting. That's the first thing that we start hitting hard. When we still have snow, we go scouting. 2 weeks after, we do it again. 3 weeks, we do it again. 4 weeks, we still up there looking to see what's going on, what is moving. We're doing this in order to have a successful hunt. That's why we're doing it. We spend a lot more time scouting than hunting. Now, when we go scouting, we try to be as light as possible. As light as possible. We don't need to carry a lot of gear with us. Most of the time, the scouting that we do is one way and we return. Now, if we plan to stay, that's a different story. If we plan to camp in there doing a scouting, that's a different story. All of those things you have to keep in consideration. But if you go and just drive your car and throw your pack on you and get a rifle that is very maneuverable, remember, you are not hunting. You are seeing what's going on. But you still need a defensive tool, because if something comes to you, especially in my area where I have brown bears, where I have black bears, moose, I don't know, maybe a mama moose gets scared and attacks me, and then I have every legal right to defend myself. It happens. I don't want that ever to happen, but it does happen. If you're doing all of that, you need to be as light as possible. Or at least that's what I do. As light as possible. And you need a tool that is very maneuverable. That way, if something comes to you, you can get the side and, do what you got to do in a proficient way. Now, if you're going to go scout and you need to go miles upon miles and you need to camp because you're just doing way too much, well, you need to make sure that you have the proper gear. I believe that I share already with y'all some of the gear that we plan to use for a lengthy scouting session that we have coming up at the very end of springtime. We want to do that for a new area that we have been eyeballing for a long time, and we want to do that. But we want to go with our tent, with sleeping bags, everything ready, 2 ATVs in case one breaks down, the other one can pull the other, all of that stuff. Let me make sure that you understand. Scouting, hunting, and camping, and I want to repeat myself, they're all different. If you want to have a very successful scouting section, my best advice to you is, if you're going to spend your night, try to spend the night, that is, the most comfortable way possible. And what makes a night comfortable is you being able to sleep. Now, it goes without saying that every piece of gear that you find out there that is lightweight is going to be expensive. So for this conversation, I would say that gear is where people are going to be like, whoa, I don't want to touch it, Billy, because it's really expensive. But I can tell you from personal experience that I have used expensive gear and I have used not so expensive gear, especially when it comes to lightweight. It pays dividends to have that expensive gear at times. It really does. like a good sleeping bag, like a good pad, insulated pad, an inflatable one. Yes, they are extremely expensive, but here for us, it's a must. Because my scouting gear to go out and whatnot, I cannot bring a cot with me. Trust me, I try. I can't. I have to sleep on the floor, so I have to have the insulated inflatable pad. Those things are massively expensive, but it keeps you warm. Let me give you an example. This right here, this is my mommy sleeping bag. This is a 20-degree sleeping bag. Nothing more, nothing less. 20 degrees. This is not cheap. It will keep you warm. However, the one issue that I always have with this particular bag is it's a mommy sleeping bag, meaning that I am somewhat restricted. But it's a night or two. I'm not going to be there for weeks on end. So I deal with it. Now, I purchased this year a sleeping bag that is 20 degrees, rated for the same that I have in here. However, this sleeping bag is not for scouting. This sleeping bag is for hunting purposes. And I bought that with the mindset of, we have a lot of public cabins in here that I can rent out. In fact, I already reserved one for an entire week to stay for moose season. That far out, you have to do it. You have to reserve them that far out, because otherwise it just disappear. This sleeping bag, 20 degrees, will be perfect for caribou hunting. It does get cold a little bit sometimes, but 25 below, like the other one, it's just too hot. You will get too hot and you will sweat. You do not want to do that at all. So I make the investment on this one because it's more comfortable. Same rating as the other one, but this one is more comfortable. And because I'm going to spend more time up there, I make that investment, because I will not be sleeping on the floor like I would do on the scouting session. No, I will bring my tent, which my sleeping arrangement changes. When I go scouting, it's a small tent. 4-season tent, but a small one, lightweight. When I go hunting, I will bring my canvas Kodiak 8-person tent. It weighs 70 pounds. I have to put it in the back of the truck, but it is very comfortable. It is a tent that I have put there 3 cots, one on each side and the other one across. We have plenty of space. We can walk around. You guys saw it. I share with y'all. That is the tent that I would bring. One quick tip for that tent: get rid of the poles, the ones that you have to hammer down. Get rid of them. Get screws, 12-inch screws. Put a washer at the end of that screw and just bring a drill when you go camping and drill that sucker down. You will thank me. Trust me on this. You will thank me. Now, I bring that tent because it's more comfortable. Because when you're going to spend up there 5, 6, 7 days, you want to be comfortable. Because if you don't get a good night's sleep, the next day for the hunt, you're going to be beat up. If you get to harvest an animal, you have no good night's sleep, you are tired, and now you have to deal with an animal that you may or may not have to track for miles. And once you do that, if you have to track it for miles and then you get the animal, then you got to haul the animal back. So it's tire after tire after tire after tire equals mistakes equals accidents. No. You see what I'm going with this? So that's what I did this. I did all of that and I invested on this one. All the same brands. All the same brands. This one is a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger. Not as wide as the 25 below, but it is a lot bigger. One of the things that I really like about this one is that you can open it up completely. It can be just like a quill. and because you don't have to use it as a sleeping bag, a conventional one that you slide in. No, this one you can open it up. Let's say that you are outside and you want to use it as a blanket, you can definitely do that. I asked Mrs. D if she wanted one, and she was like, absolutely. We already tested it inside the house, and I tell you what, awesome. And we got the extra large. We went way bigger. Why? Because when we go camping, hunting, we want to have the best night that we can, because we want to be 100% the next day. In fact, why not jump into camping right now, since I mentioned camping? When you go camping, you go to have fun with your family, right? Let's say that you're not scouting, let's say that you're not hunting, you're just camping to have fun with your family. The worst thing that you can experience in a camping situation is that your family comes to you and say, I am cold, I am tired, I don't want to do this, I want to go home. All the work that you did, all the convincing that you did, all the fun that you thought that you were going to have went down the drain. Simply enough because you did not have the proper gear. Let me go back again to a sleeping situation. When you go hunting, when you go camping, don't sleep on the ground. If you can, I will highly recommend you to look at bigger tents. I will recommend you mine. It is not cheap, but it will last you a very long time. Again, it is the Kodiak canvas tent for 8 people. It doesn't matter if you have 2 people or not. You're going to have plenty of space. Get cots. Get the ones from Walmart. In fact, those are the ones that I use. They're a lot cheaper than any other outdoor stores, and they work just fine. In fact, I think they work even better. And get a good sleeping bag. It's half a battle right there. Especially if you have children, especially if you bring your significant other who is not accustomed or perhaps don't like camping or hunting. You want to keep everybody comfortable. That way they have a good experience, and next year they want to do it again and again and again and again. And it becomes a family, I don't want to say routine, but it becomes a family thing. It becomes something that they will look forward to do every year. Now, I'm saying all of this and I'm giving you just the very bare minimum. I just touch on sleeping because I see that as a point that a lot of folks tend to be like, no, I just sleep on the floor and that's it. That is good when you by yourself. But when you have others who especially are not accustomed to it, well, sometimes decision needs to be made in their favor. And in this case is just buy the proper gear. Buy something that they will make their stay a lot more comfortable. In this case, remember what I'm saying, and I'm being very honest with y'all. Nothing will beat a good night's sleep. Nothing. Make sure that you have a good tent, a tent that you can stand up. Make sure that you have a cot. Make sure that you have good sleeping bag. And one tip that I will give everybody. Do not ignore having a pillow. Trust me on this. You will thank me if you just follow those 4 things. A good tent, a cot, a good sleeping bag, and a pillow. The next morning, you can get up, you can start a fire, you can make breakfast, you can enjoy a good coffee with your family, and I guarantee you 100% they're going to look forward to do it the next year. Now, for scouting purposes, depends on what you're doing. If you're doing it by yourself, if you're just going, one day and come back, you don't have to have all of this. If you're going to go, especially for us who live in the extreme, we have to have proper equipment. Otherwise, well, Alaska is beautiful, but she loves to remind you how deadly she is.